And welcome everyone to RedRaiders.com. I'm Zach Long, greeting you on a wonderful Tuesday in Lubbock, Texas. And we thought we would spend the day talking about some of the positive things that happened over the weekend because they were positive. They beat Kansas, and it's the first time in a few weeks that we've had a win to talk about. But really, there were some things inside the game that should give Texas Tech fans and faithful a little bit of encouragement as the Red Raiders try to close out this season on a positive note. Number one, DeAndre Washington. What a fantastic performance for the junior who has went through a lot during his Texas Tech career. 164 yards on the ground, and arguably right now, folks, he might be Texas Tech's best asset and best weapon on the offensive side of the football. But you also can't give him all that credit. You have to look at Tech's offensive line. They're among the nation leaders in sacks allowed as well. That might be the strongest unit on the Texas Tech football team. And when DeAndre Washington has a good game, good things happen for Texas Tech. They have to continue that over the back half of the season. If he's able to run for over 100 yards a game, I'm going to promise you something. Texas Tech is going to be competitive in every football game they play the rest of this year, despite the struggles they had to start the season. Number two, we have beat this horse into the ground several times, talking about a secondary target that Tech must develop in the passing game. Last week you saw another name thrown into the hat, and that was Ian Sadler, the freshman from Argyle, Texas. An outstanding game against Kansas. He's a very unique receiver. He's a speed guy that can come out of the slot position, but he's also a big body receiver, over 200 pounds. He's the type of guy that can battle in the corner of the end zone on a fade route, which you saw magically displayed in his first career touchdown against Kansas in that game on Saturday. If Sadler can continue to develop and they can have Jakeem Grant do what he does and get Bradley Marquez completely healthy, Texas Tech will have a better option at wide receiver. They've had struggles there. Coaches have tried a number of different individuals in different positions trying to find that mix. A kid like Ian Sadler continues to develop. Good things are going to happen for Texas Tech offensively. And number three, the defense. We have harped on them a little bit this season, and by a little bit, I mean a lot. And after the Arkansas debacle, if I would have told you Texas Tech would have the Big 12 leader in sacks, you probably would have called me insane, but that's exactly what they have right now. Pete Robertson playing his butt off. He leads the Big 12 in sacks, and it's not just because of him. It's that defensive line in general that is playing really well. People like Brandon Jackson, Rika Levy, Keelan McElrath. Those are people who are disrupting opponents up front and letting people like Pete Robertson wonder a little bit and rack up some of those sacks. They struggled. They're going to face some better running teams over the end of the schedule, but they are getting better. They're young secondary, and we do emphasize the word young. They played really well against Kansas. You got to understand, they were out with arguably their best secondary member in Keenan Ward. They played well. They tackled well. They're going to take their punches because opponents are taking shots at them. But folks, this is going to pay off. I'm not saying there's not going to be a few bumps down the road at the end of the season, but this experience right now is going to pay off huge for Texas Tech. That defense is getting better under Mike Smith, and hopefully it pays off a lot next season. In the short term, though, we hope it pays off against TCU on Saturday. A very good Horned Frog team. Trevon Boykin playing lights out compared to what he was his first two seasons at TCU. The Tech defense will try to shut him down on Saturday, and we'll have a lot more about that game in the coming days at RedRaiders.com and LubbockOnline.com. For now, though, that's a look at three happy things for your Tuesday. I'm Zach Long, and you're on RedRaiders.com.